Welcome everyone to another webinar from Teradek, and then this one we're going to talk about the new Prism 877, which we are dubbing the Prism Duplex card. So with us today is, of course, myself, Derek Nickell, and alongside me here is Tyler Riddle, the other live product manager.
Howdy, everyone.
And we're going to talk to you today and demo as well the new Prism Duplex card. So what is the Duplex card and where does it come from? I'm going to get into the presentation here, and we'll see what the history is of this Prism Rack and look at the new features of the Prism Duplex card, the hardware, the software, and some licensing options for those cards as well. And then Tyler's going to take you through an actual demo of a live product, and show you what the 877 can do for your on-prem as well as your cloud services here. So continuing on, if you're not already familiar with the Prism Rack, we offer a 1 rack unit height and a 2 rack unit height, the 801 and the 802 respectively, that offers two different slot combinations. So the 1 rack unit can store up to any combination of encoders and decoders, now 3 cards wide, and then 9 rack. The 2RU can have up to 9 cards in any combination that you need as well. So with that, also with the 2RU comes redundant power supplies. We can actually install a second power supply in there, so make sure that you consistently have power, and there is a fallback system there. So this is what we're current chassis are offering, and this is our cards as they exist now. The encoder card, which is the 853, which is a Prism encoder that can take in up to 4K UHD and encode direct out of that card to either the cloud or point to point. The decoder card fits in the same slot and is obviously a decoder side of our workflow here. These are only SDI. For now, we have only been able to offer SDI, and they're not upgradable for any sort of license support either. So since these are only a single function card and they're limited on their scope and what their capabilities are, the next possible outcome would be to upgrade all of those things. And what we're going to do here is show you the next version of this card, dubbed the Duplex, which has SDI and HDMI connectors now on the backplane, so you can swap out your SDI backplane for an HDMI pass-through in and out of your rack for each card. This also, with this new card, gives us internal storage capability of up to 512 gigs, and you have the option to add an SD card in the front. You can see the slot underneath the display there is for an SD card, and most up to, I believe, 2 terabytes, right? Tyler, is what we've
No, we're at 512
of the internal storage.
The internal store. Oh, the SD card. Yeah, the SD card. I mean, as big as they come, whatever size you want to plug in.
Exactly. So you have a lot more storage options directly on the card here, but this also is a multi-function card. So we have a single card now that can work as an encoder or a decoder with the flip of a software switch in the UI. And Tyler's going to show you that here in a second. So this adds a lot more complexity and a lot more functionality to your rack system. You're going to be able to switch this as you need. As your workflow changes, you're going to be able to adapt to that workflow and provide your customers, your clients, your end users, and your broadcast to anything you need. Sorry about that. One second.
So I will take it from here. And so this essentially allows you to have both of these particular inputs and outputs. And I kind of want to show you these things. So, Derek, if you could trigger my screen here.
Yep, I got you right here. Sorry about that, everybody. It's life. Okay, go ahead, Tyler. You got it.
Yeah. So this is the loading up here. This is the Prism Duplex. Prism Duplex looks a lot like our existing Prism products, but it does, as noted, it does have a couple of special things to it. First of all, as he said, it's HDMI in or SDI in. We do have two different back plates for it, and you can buy the back plates separate. So if you do want both, or if you do want to switch them out, we do have that option available, but most people will generally buy one or the other. I wanted to run through this. Now, this is actually a beta of 222. The Prism duplex card actually ships when we ship 222 because it's sort of the functionalities tied to 222. So going down through here, you'll see that there's sort of a, a difference in the menuing system. One thing that we have now in here is when you go to your tracks, we actually have support for up to 16 audio channels. This has been a big ask. And so this will come with 222, also with the duplex card. And then as you continue down, you can see that there's a decoder configuration here. So we'll get into this and how that is configured. This is essentially a license that is enabled on Prism Flex, Prism Mobile, and now the duplex card that allows you to do essentially a bi-directional stream or return video or whatever you want to call it, and it pipes it out the output. So if you're using HDMI, it will pipe it out the HDMI output. If you're using SDI, it will pipe it out the alternate SDI output. And then the other license that is also offered with this is the multi-streaming license, and that allows you to send streams to different places. And you'll note here we do have a new preset function. So this particular preset will load SRT, MPEG-TS, whatever it is, but it will also load the encoding settings for that preset. So if you have H.265 on one side and H.264 on the other, it will tie that in as well. And these things are also portable. So when you can actually take these stream presets here and export and import them. So it's a cool way of backing up all of those configurations that you might have, especially when using these types of cards. They're multi-configurable, so 222 does offer that. Moving on down the menu system here, this is something new. We have OpenVPN built into the device. We will have basically ton mode, which is the device will connect to OpenVPN so that you can access the device remotely. We are building in a tap mode soon here, shortly after that will feed and bridge the wired or the secondary wired Ethernet and allow pass through to control another device. So that's coming down the pipe for this sort of functionality as well. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for here, the codec mode. This is unique to Teradek, I think, and unique to this particular product family. So right now I'm in encoder mode. I'm going to go ahead and click decoder and press continue. The whole thing reloads, and boom, I am now a decoder. So this is an official decoder. It's got everything that our decoders, similar to a Flex, has. It's video output settings, audio output settings, scaling, the overlays, the OSD. We've got generator coming down the pipe here. I don't think that's going to make it for 222, but and then everything else is pretty much the same. So it is a full-on decoder at that point with a click of a button. So it's a really unique thing that we have going on here. What I want to do, also, I wanted to point out we have something called the debonding license here. So, and our licenses, as you can see, I've got this enable extra streams. This allows me extra streams. Enable decoding. This allows me to decode on the encoder. Now, the decode on the encoder, keep in mind there's no scaling on that. It's a little less of a decoder on its limit, and it has some limitations. So if you think it's a full-blown, it's not quite a full-blown, but for a lot of use cases, it will work in sort of a bi-directional type way.
Yeah, I think the biggest use case is just as a return video
Yeah.
situation. So it's not necessarily your full decode codec with all the bells and whistles. It's more or less just to get the video back to whoever's on the ground there. So
okay, so setting this up here, we're back into the encode mode. I have a Prism sitting over here with the same decode license. I'm going to go ahead and just quickly set up a bidirectional stream. So in this case, I'm going to set this as a listener. My stream is 9710, and I think I already set that up there. And then for this IP address, I know that's 188 at the end there. And then I'm going to go to the decode settings here, and I'm going to make this a caller on this decode. And grab that IP, and I believe it was 9710, and hit that. So now on this side, you can see that I can alternate between the two. So this is the encode side. So I'm streaming at 2 megabits here. And on this side, you can see I'm decoding at 8 megabits or so here. And that's reflecting the encoder on this side here. Now, going to the other side, I have a 165 address here, and on the stream 1, I'm going to go ahead and set this to SRT, and it looks like I'm going to put this in listener mode, and that's going to be 90. Let's make that 9712. How about that? 9712. And on this side, I'm going to put this as a caller and put in my address here and the port. Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. Go to ingest settings, caller. I'm going to put in my address here and my port 9712. Click save. Then on the decode side, there it goes. And we're off to the races. So you can see it's pretty quick to, once you know all the IP addresses and ports and that sort of thing, it's really quick to make a bidirectional stream. This is super useful for if you want to do like a zoom replacement, or if you're trying to get 4K in both directions or something like that. Or if you have a venue where perhaps you need to pipe out the video from that venue and get video from another venue back. It's got a lot of uses, and so that's why we lovingly call it the duplex card.
Awesome. Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for the demo there. It's good to go through everything and make sure everybody knows what we're doing. Is there anything else you want to cover before we move away from this?
I think that's it. That's all I had on my list. One thing I wanted to say about the decoder. I did just breeze over this, so let me flip over. On the decoder side, for 222, we did add a few things. So on our next gen, we have closed caption support. That's coming in 222. That was already in our standard gen, which is going away by 223. It'll be gone. And then we have improved interoperability between third-party encoders. And some of the ways we've done that is by adding B-frames. So some of you who are in the broadcast world, you know that B-frames are often used. They add latency, but are often important for the encoding process. So on the decoder side, we have added B-frames so that you are more compatible with other streams that are out there. Additionally, we will have AC3 decode on the decoder. And of course, we have MPEG-2 on the decoder. And we actually have MPEG-2 and Opus on the encoder as well. We've exposed those. So if those are required for your workflow, you can use that. They are in a beta state right now, but they're in a pretty good place. We use Opus for WebRTC, but if you want to use MPEG-2 for your legacy workflows, that is available from the Prism encoder side.
Awesome.
Get my little nerd on there.
There you go.
There we go.
There's always room for a little bit.
Man, you get me talking about this stuff, and I'll just keep going and going and going. So we better stop and answer some questions. I think there's one.
Yeah, it looks like we do have a question.
Yeah.
About TRT bonding from Rodney. So we're still working on the TRT bonding side of the house, trying to get that pared down in a way that is very effective with the consumer side, so that it's operable and everybody understands, and then document that on that side as well. So, Tyler.
Let's be transparent here. So with TRT, what we are doing is actually reworking the protocol, and it's going to take a few months to do. The protocol is really good for low latency type stuff, but we are having to transition it into another type of thing. And so currently our engineering right now as we speak are working on this protocol and sort of reworking and redesigning it to make it simpler to use, and bonding built in. And so this will work directly with our Hyperion servers. And you will see early next year inklings of this, and this will be built into the Prism platform. This is where you're going to see bonded latencies down in the 250 millisecond range, if not lower than that. We've seen some impressive stuff so far, but we've kind of had to pivot just a little bit in the last probably 6-8 months, and so give us a little time, maybe about 6 months or so, and you'll see some improvements on the TRT side.
When you guys, if you're interested, when we do have something available, if you can reach out to live@teradek.com, we can put you in touch, or we can get in touch with you. And when we do have a beta available, throw that your way as well. So anyway, it doesn't look like there's much more coming from questions from the audience. So if if there's anything else to add, Tyler, now is the time. If we get signaling from marketing to keep talking, we can keep talking, but I know nobody wants us to keep talking. Keep back. Get the time back if they can. So we're going to give it another 5 seconds. 4, 3, and yeah. Thanks everybody for coming and checking out what we're launching here soon, the new Prism Duplex card. If you have any more questions, please go to teradek.com/prism to take a look at the card selection, the hardware selection that we have, and read more about Core and the workflows and technology that we have there. Again, if you have any questions, please email us live@teradek.com. And for now, Tyler, what do you think?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to say that in terms of shipping dates on availability on these cards, they will launch with 222. So we have all the hardware and everything in place. We are waiting for the final touches on 222, and at that point, it launches. So 222 is supposed to release next week, but of course, it has to go. It's going through QA process and all of that right now, just to make sure that everything's as buttoned up as it can be. And so once that's out, immediately we'll start shipping those off.
Yep, we'll be ready to go. So get a hold of us, and we'll have something for you here soon. All right. Thanks everybody for coming out today and taking a look. And we appreciate your questions and everybody being here. So have a good day.
Take care.
Take care.